Well, it's morning time, and you know what happens in the mornings? Paint jobs. Because they less bugs, the temperature's kind of cool, and it can bake throughout the day. That's how come we're going to paint this finally today. So let's jump into the paint job. So the next step is mask this. I wouldn't mask it the night before, but my building's full of stuff. Actually body panels to this car and sheet metal. So I'm running well on tape, but I'm going to show you what I use and how I mask. I'm using this plastic sheet, and this is special plastic for paint. It will not blow off. Here you go. We're going to back mask this. You want to make sure the back of your surfaces is clean. We washed this car off. Should be pretty clean. But anyway, all we do, take us some paper. Well, it's not paper. It's still too early in the morning for me. And do this. Just like so. And that's back masking. Need to do the whole hatch like that. Because there's so much dust inside this car, we don't want it blowing back on a paint job. Then we're going to lay the plastic right on top of this. Just like so. And we want it pulled tight if we can. Okay, pretty good. Now we can finish masking what we got down here and then stretch it as we go. And now any excess you can take a razor blade and cut off, or just tape it over. I'll probably just tape this over. So this is the masking job complete. It looks pretty good. A little bit floppy, and how you can fix that, just take you some pieces of tape. You can unsee my tape and just, you know, hook it somewhere, like let's say here, and then pull it up towards the other piece. That takes flack out. You can do that in a couple places. This does say paint this side. You want to make sure that is the side you put up, because paint bonds to this. So you can come back in the next day and your paint ain't going to fly off once it dries. Or if you got long flash times, you know, using a super flow reducer, it's not going to blow off into your paint job. Now, the outside here, it's the same way with the doors. So we're going to mask this in the engine bay. I showed you how to do it on the hatch. Everything's masked off now. I got the engine bay, the window, didn't use much plastic at all. I could did a lot around the doors, but I just want to keep dust semi-off this, just because, be honest about it, I didn't have enough tape. You seen what I had to work with. So everything looks good. Everything's scuffed. We're going to spray away it after I take a blow nozzle to it and blow everything out. Inside the lights and everything was scuffed. So double check. Looks scuffed to me. The other nozzle I use is the one I build transmissions and stuff with too. I got 2 or 3 of these. They Miltons. They're very good. Last a long time. A lot better than the Harbor Freight. So I'm going to take a little bit of air and blow this off. Every bit of this. And then we're going to wipe it down. I got these shop tails. They're multi-purpose. I'm going to use them with some spray away to clean this whole body off. You can use a wax and grease remover, but this body was washed in Dawn dish liquid and stuff, so shop towel, grass cleaner should work. I picked this up at CarQuest. You know, good place to buy your paint supplies from. I usually deal with them, Napa, and a couple of the local businesses around that's out of county, because there ain't many paint shops. The key with most paint jobs, especially if you're painting outside, is getting everything kind of clean, you know? That's a trim piece that you glue on right here, so you still want that clean. Oh, I'm squirting a little water. Gonna have to drain my compressor before we paint. No biggie. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll try to show you. Getting the water out of your compressor before you paint. Even with dryers and stuff, it still can make its way through it. So keep your water out of your tank. This one ain't been drained in a while. Got a little bit of a run right there. Need to sand that out right fast. Want to make sure ain't nothing gonna blow off here. So we ain't got all my edges. We got a little dry up here. Over this way at just where it's so hot right now. You know, the panel temp is a little out of control. But we can put the quick coat on heavy. If I had a flow reducer, it'd be a whole lot better, but I got a medium. This panel's a little bit too hot for medium, but it'll dry fast, so I can keep it just wet and moving. Wet and moving. I'm gonna try to do 3 coats of quick coat on this car, just because that's what I did everything else. Give me plenty of room to buff out any imperfections that might be in it, any dings that we might have. We might actually be able to quick coat and level it out where you won't notice it as bad. And rock chips we had earlier did fill up. I told you to see where I fill those up. Let me put a coat of quick coat on it, then I get back with you, unless I have to keep moving, and then I'll show you when I get all 3 coats on it. I don't know, you know, it's hot out. I started at 7 in the dew, and then I started spraying at 11, and flash times is very quick on this. Just wait and see. Patience. I like to ball them out and let them air dry a little, and we're just going to gently rub over this, and if any dry spray or any pollen or anything on it, we can get it off before the fucking quick coat hits, you know. That's the main thing, getting all that shit off for a quick coat like this. We'll just wipe it and get it off. So before we spray it, we take the gun and just lightly blow nozzle it. We should have everything off of it good enough to spray the quick coat. Now, as I said, I gotta go heavy with it. I gotta go slow because it's super hot. Usually I do a tight coat and then put a heavy coat on, but I'm just gonna go wet on wet. We get any ones, we'll sand them out. I did wet on wet, 3 big heavy coats. It weighed down smooth. If I was in a paint booth and the bugs would stay out of it, like this little guy, it would be doing pretty good. But all this pollen should buff out, all these dust specks. That's fine, it's a dark color. We shouldn't have to worry. Little bug here. I need a needle to get that out. So let's go over and take a look. Bug here. He'll buff out. No bugs on this side yet. So I got 2 bugs I need to duck nib out while this is doing its thing. Well, like I did run it a little here and there. That was a buff out with the bug. Well, that bug got out. Look at that. This guy didn't, and he's sticking himself more. Is it like, I'm coming to save you, are you? Well, here. Yeah, far away. Hold on, little guy. Here, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh, there you go. You're free. Stay away from this for at least 30 minutes, then you can light on it. Good heavy cut and buff should do it. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. I think the door is going to look fine on it. I think it's going to look pretty good. But yeah, she looks pretty good. Like I said, we'll cut and buff it. We cut and buff the hatch. We might as well do the whole car. Well, we kind of got to, because we got enough pollen in it to plant trees. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good for what we had. LS swapped. And this should be about tacky, ain't it? Was it still stringy while I did wet and wet? Stringy. But yeah, I could put 4 coats on it, but 3 coats is good enough. That's plenty of material to buff off. So if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave a comment as always, and if you're new, get subscribed. We got a buff job to do on this car.